I figured the best way to do this video would be to build a Bronco from scratch and build it the exact same way that mine is that I have on order. I'll go through some of the options for these Broncos. As you can see, you start with the base model, 29,300. The Big Ben, which I considered along with the Black Diamond, but there are some options that you cannot get with these two models that I can get with the one that I have on order. The one that I ordered is the Outer Banks version, and when we start the build, I'll go over some of the things in this model that you can get with the other ones. Some of it's kind of just cosmetic type things, but I really like it a lot more. And then at the very end, you have the Badlands, which I had a really hard time not picking the Badlands because I absolutely love the interior versus what's in the Outer Banks. But the Badlands comes with a locking front and rear differential along with a automatic disconnect sway bar on the front. And that's something that I'm really not going to use overall. I don't need an all-out four-wheel drive build for off-roading, which is what this is geared around. And then you have the Wild Track, which is just an insane build in general. So we'll start this build. If you couldn't tell from the pictures that I threw up before, I am getting a two-door. I have no reason to get the four-door. I think the two-door looks better as well. Personal preference, of course, but I really like the two-door look. So I did pick the Outer Banks as mentioned. So we'll start the build, and it will start out from complete scratch. The default is the Velocity Blue Metallic, which is a color that I did end up going with. I fought a lot between picking Race Red, which I do like Race Red a lot. But if you don't know, I've had 6 total Mustangs. 4 of them have been red. I've had 2 CBR 600 RRs that were red. I'm kind of done with red at this point. I really did like this color as well, the carbonized gray metallic. But if I ever change the wheels up, I want to do kind of like a matte look for the wheels, and I just thought it would be way too much gray. It does match the top, which is nice, but in the end, I opted for the blue. There are other nice colors too. Cyber Orange is a really nice color. I have seen this color in person, and I have seen Area 51 in person, but in the end, just the blue is really, really nice. One of the features with the Outer Banks version is, I'll try and make this bigger so you guys can see it. And the Ford side's a little slow at loading. The Outer Banks version has painted fender flares and painted door handles and painted mirrors. You do not get this on any other model of all the models that I showed at the beginning. This is the only version where you get those painted body parts on it, which was a huge plus for me. And one of the other features with the Outer Banks is this grille. There are different style grills on each of the Bronco models, but this is the only one that has this particular look where it's got these big open holes here, and this is also painted gloss black, and some of them are Adele color, other ones are painted in that gloss black as well, but this is the only one with this style grille with these big holes in it that comes with the gloss black like that, and they all say Bronco across the front. There are some differences with the lights, but I'll get into that more as we get deeper into the build. One other thing that I wanted to note was that the Outer Banks model does come standard with these running boards. You don't find this on some of the other models. It's an add-on, or it's not even an option. It also comes standard with 18-inch wheels on it. So the first options that we come to are the wheel and tire package. I kept this standard. I didn't want to upgrade either one because if you do, it upgrades it to the Sasquatch package, which I am not getting. The Sasquatch package changes it to 35-inch tires and gives it a different type of suspension, which is geared more towards an off-road type build. And with this being my primary vehicle, I'm not building it to be, for a massive off-road build. It comes standard with 255/70 18 tires. I do plan on changing these to 285s just to give it a more aggressive stance not long after I get it, hopefully the same day I take delivery. This next group of options is all just different types of roof options. I'm getting the hard carbonized gray, and that comes standard on all the two-door Broncos. These are optional add-ons you can get, which I have no interest in, so I'm not going to spend time with that. One of the first upgrades I did was the front bumper. I wanted the heavy-duty steel bumper, and this does change the look of the front end. Blow this up a little bit so you can see it better. It does remove the fog lights down low, but it is a modular bumper. It's held on with all these, I'm not sure what the fitting is for the bolt as far as a head on it, but it's all modular. You can take parts of this off and stuff like that. But I just love the aggressive look on how this is compared to the standard bumper with the fog lights. And when you upgrade this, it also automatically upgrades to front steel bash plates, which are underneath. With the standard bumper, these are plastic, and with this bumper upgrade, it converts them to steel plates on the bottom. As I said earlier, the tube steps or side steps come standard. That's already included. So go down further, the headlamps, LED with LED signature lighting. I mentioned this earlier when I was talking about the grille. What this does is it gives you the halo ring on the outside here, which is LED, and this part here lights up as an LED light. Without this option, this doesn't light up and you don't get the halo ring around it. So it looks really cool at nighttime, and I just really wanted to have that option. But with the Outer Banks, this comes standard with it, which is nice, so I didn't have to do this as an upgrade. It already came like that by picking this model. The next option we come to is the interior seats. I went back and forth a lot on this. The first build that I did was with they're not really leather, it's trimmed vinyl seats with leather on it's leather on the outside with vinyl on the inside of the seat. It's a $2,000 upgrade. Ultimately, I ended up just keeping the cloth. One of the reasons why I did not go with the red exterior color as well is because it's already colored blue on the inside. So I think it will match the blue better, being blue exterior, blue interior. But I just thought it clashed a lot with having a red exterior and blue seats. As I mentioned before, the Badlands, these come black. I really would have liked it if I could get black seats in this, but it wasn't an option. You can get this other color, which is called Roast. I didn't quite like it as much overall, so I kept just the blue. So that's what the interior seating looks like. All this here is just cargo storage stuff. Auxiliary light switches. I did add these. You can see them. They go up here. It's a series of 6 auxiliary switches that you can hook basically anything up to. When you pick this option, it allows exterior lighting, fog lights, anything like that. And it all comes pre-wired. So it's all pre-wired inside the engine bay. You just have to do the wiring to connect for which auxiliary switch you want to which accessory you're running it to. And with that modular bumper that I mentioned earlier, I do want to get aftermarket fog lights and hook those up to one of those auxiliary switches. So these switches are one of the options that I did pick for this. Now the next big upgrade that I did, I'm really a fan of technology and anything related to that. I really wanted the 12-inch screen. This comes standard with an 8-inch screen, but not only did I want the 12-inch screen, I also wanted to opt for the 10-speaker Bang & Olufsen surround sound system, and it comes with a subwoofer. It has 10 speakers paired with the 12-inch screen. So I picked the Bang & Olufsen, and that automatically converts that over to the 12-inch screen because that converts it over to the Luxe package, which is what I believe is short for luxury package with the Bang & Olufsen system. You can get a There are different packages you can get for the technology, and I will explain those as I get down further. You can get a 12-inch screen without the Bang & Olufsen system, or you can pair the two together. And I'll do the 360 view so you can see some of this stuff a little bit better for the interior options that I picked. Here you can see you have the 12-inch screen. If you only do the 8-inch, there's like a bezel on each side, so it cuts it off a little bit. You go up here, you can see the auxiliary switches. If you don't pick the auxiliary switches, you end up getting a flip down area for sunglasses. I felt as though I will have better use out of these auxiliary switches than a sunglass holder. And also you have this trim here, which is the same color as the exterior, and then the interior color as well, which is a little bit different. So this is what the inside of the two-door looks like, and this does have removable top, if it will stay. Also, with the Outer Banks edition, it comes with a sound deadening edition on this, so it's like a sound deadening covering to block out any wind and stuff like that. It doesn't show it on this view, but it is included with this model as well. Now the next section we come to is the engine and four-wheel drive system and transmission upgrades and rear axle options. Everyone on this channel knows, well, maybe not everyone, those of you watching this for the first time, I do have a Cobra. It makes a crap ton of power, so you're probably wondering which engine did I go with between the 2.3 liter EcoBoost and the 2.7 liter EcoBoost. No one watches this channel for power and engine stuff, so I'm just going to skip that. Actually, I'll go back to it. I'll save that for last. The Lux package that I mentioned earlier, and you can pause the video here. I'm not going to go through all the options for the mid and high package. It comes standard with, it comes standard with the mid. You can upgrade to the high, which has a 12-inch screen, or you can upgrade to the Lux, which comes with a speaker system. This has evasive steering assist, a heated steering wheel. It does have heated seats, adaptive cruise control, the Bang & Olufsen system, dual smart charging USB ports, Type-C, standard A on the dashboard, universal garage door opener built in, Sync 4 with advanced voice recognition, built-in navigation, and a wireless charging pad. So this is all with the Lux system, and also not shown on here, it does have the 360 camera view from the outside. So it has front camera, rear camera, and a 360 bird's eye view camera view for this Lux package, which will be very helpful in a lot of situations, whether you are off-road or not. I can find uses for that pretty much anywhere. I did not add towing capacity or towing capability. I didn't want to add that to the build. I tried to only add things to this build that I cannot get after the fact, after it's already built. A lot of the things that I optioned for this build, I can go back and redo and get it after the fact. The towing package is something I can put on after, just pay for it out of pocket. As I said before, I didn't want to do the Sasquatch package, and just so you get a better idea of what that is, gives you 17-inch high gloss wheels, 4.7 final drive ratio with the electronic lock in front and rear diff axle, high clearance suspension, high clearance fender flares, and the bigger 35-inch mud terrain tires. But I did not opt for that. So now that only leaves the engine, transmission, and 4x4 drive system options with the rear axle options and stuff like that. Those of you that watch the channel regularly know about the Cobra. Those of you that are new, I have a 2004 Terminator Cobra, makes 676 to the wheels, over 700 horsepower at the engine. These two options that I have are the 2.3 liter EcoBoost, 300 horsepower, 325 foot-pounds of torque. These are both on premium fuel. The 2.7 liter twin turbo V6 makes 330 horsepower and 415 foot-pounds of torque, substantially more torque than the 2.3. This build is for my primary everyday vehicle. The Cobra is my project fun car during the summer and on the weekends. This is more of a practical build, something I'm going to use everyday driving, stuff like that. So with that being said, the engine that I chose is, of course, the 2.7 liter EcoBoost engine. That wasn't a compromise. I wanted the bigger engine for this from the very start. It wasn't something I had really thought much about as far as which one to really get. So that leaves the rear axle ratio and the transmission. I did opt for a locking rear diff. It's not something I'm going to use a lot, especially on the street. You should never use a rear locking diff on the street. But it's something that I wanted to have in case I ever did any off-road type driving, the medium to light type stuff. I wanted to have that as an option just in case. That also, with a 2.7 liter, you're automatically opted into the 10-speed. If you were to pick the 2.3 liter EcoBoost, you have the option of a manual transmission, but with the 2.7, you only get the 10-speed automatic, which I'm okay with. But that leaves power time selectable engagement or automatic on-demand engagement. I picked the automatic on-demand engagement because that's basically like having an all-wheel drive option. What that is that it gives you the option, such as driving in snow and slush and stuff like that, which we have a lot of here in the wintertime. You could put it in four-wheel drive automatic and it acts like an all-wheel drive system where it will kick in four-wheel drive where you need it to when it detects slip and stuff like that, where the standard non-4A option just has 4 high and 4 low as the option. This also has an outer ring, this silver ring. Not a good picture of it right here. It's not very big. But this is called GOAT modes. They're selectable engagements that you can do on the Bronco. You can select sport mode. I'll give you the options for the Outer Banks. There's normal driving mode, eco mode, sport mode, slippery, which is snow, ice, stuff like that, mud, self-explanatory. Those are all different options that you can pick for the amount of traction that it gets and just the way that it affects how the vehicle drives in conditions like that. Other options available are Baja and rock crawling. Those are on the upper models, like the Wild Track and the Badland options. That's not options I needed for this build. That's why I didn't option for those other builds over the Outer Banks. So that being said, for Outer Banks optioned with everything that I had picked for options, the total comes out to $48,945. Base MSRP started at $44,000, added $2,000, almost $3,000 in options, plus the destination charge. I of course changed all this stuff as far as down payment, APR, term, amount of months I wanted to pay for it. So I'm not paying $400 and I'm not paying $832 a month. Significantly different because of my trade-in with the Escape for what I should get for it, and with the down payment I'm putting down, the amount financed is a lot lower than $44,000. So that's, as it stands to now, that's how this bill comes out. You can make it come out a lot cheaper. You can have it come out a lot more expensive, depending on the trim that you get and the options picked for this. This could be built a lot more. It could be built less. It all depends on what kind of Bronco you want to build. I will, of course, update the Bronco build moving forward as I get my VIN number, as I get my projected build date, and when I eventually take delivery, which I hope is in the June to September timeframe for 2022. It all depends upon Ford's production. If you're new to the channel and haven't been here before, I kind of brushed on it a little bit, but I do have a 2004 Terminator Cobra. So if you'd like to check out those other videos, I'd appreciate that as well if you're interested in that. Anyone that's here, new or old, I appreciate any likes you give. Anyone that's new here, if you like to sub, I would appreciate that as well. So that's pretty much everything for the Bronco. That's the build. And like I said, any updates that I get for my build date or VIN number or any information I get from the dealer, I will make more videos on the Bronco moving forward. But there won't be as many Bronco videos as when I actually get it up to that point. It's mostly going to be the Terminator Cobra content until I can supplement it with the Bronco when I eventually get it. But that's it, everyone. I thank you very much for watching. I look forward to actually getting this so everyone can see it, and it'll be fun. It'll be a fun vehicle to do some stuff with, especially when I start doing upgrades and all that. But that, of course, is for after I get it later on down the road. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching.